'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock, cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every weekend, it's feeling like a party. Moolah Ric Flair, showing out like Bianca Belair, Best podcast, flush it in the air, From the rings and we win it, don't care, No cap. Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPUp's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock, cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every weekend, it's feeling like a party.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a very special Wrestling RHAPUp podcast. I'm your host, Mari Forth, and with me, as always, my co-host, Matt Scott. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling good. I'm rocking. I'm rumbling. It's good to be on the other side of the Royal Rumble and to talk with you. I'm in freezing cold Minneapolis, which is not ideal, but you know what? Happy to be here with you, Mari. How's it going?
It's going great. Great show last night. We are streaming live to Facebook and Twitter for our Royal Rumble live reactions podcast. We will be taking listener questions throughout the podcast. We're so glad we can be here. It was a pretty good night, I would say, What was your favorite match, Matt?
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So the Royal Rumble, like I always love a good Royal Rumble match. For me, though, it wasn't even the match as much as just the story that they ended on with KO and Roman and Sami and the Usos and Solo and Paul Heyman. Like that for me jumped out so much. But I have to say also, Mari, I did enjoy the Mountain Dew. I'm trying not to mess up the official name. Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. It appealed to me in terms of the colors, the neon.
Yeah.
Loved it. So a very fun show in my opinion, but I'm excited to kind of talk through it. What did you have a favorite match or a favorite moment?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think the men's rumble actually really did it for me this year, which is kind of funny since we barely talk about men's wrestling on this podcast, I feel like.
Yeah.
No, I really thought that it was a great way to start the show.
Yeah.
Like I said on our preview podcast and our podcast with Victoria Cage, I love when they use the rumble to set up storylines or to like elongate storylines, stuff like that. And I think a lot of the predictions and when we were talking about we think this person's gonna eliminate this person came true. So
yeah,
I like really enjoyed the men's rumble.
Yeah, I also feel like part of it I don't know, like there's a question of like, does it make it less fun if it's predictable, or are we
Right.
happy when we're right? So that's kind of the question, and I think maybe that's the folly of the wrestling fan. Folly feels like a LaTanya Starks word to me, but that's the thing, and I don't know, like for a solid show, if not for our over analysis of it beforehand, like I think so much of it would have been like really surprising and fun. And it was still fun along the way. Like we didn't get as many legends or surprises in that sense, but the show did what I think it needed to do, which is kind of the point. And it ended on the note that, like, I think the strongest note possible, which is really awesome.
Yeah, I agree. Like I don't care about predictability. I don't care about guessing it as long as it's logical. I say that all the time.
Yeah.
If I can predict if that means it was logical,
That's a
I
great
am
thing.
perfectly okay with that. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily love swerves or surprises just to have swerves and surprises, that don't make any sense. So I was fine with I think both winners, I predicted both winners who won.
Yeah.
I think
Look
I
at you.
pretty
Look at
much
you.
actually all of my predictions were right.
I mean, Mari,
I don't know
I
who's
think
counting, but
legit,
I'm pretty sure
Mari, I think everyone predicted all of the winners for this pay-per-view. Like, I was really trying. Jade Cargill did not show up in the Women's Royal Rumble. So I was a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Thought she's gonna get her 50th win there, but you know what? It's all good. I'll be fine. But I have to say, Mari, maybe it's like go on the opposite side of you. Like you might as well call me Matt Swerve Scott because I love a swerve. I love to be
Yeah.
surprised, but we really do sit here just like breaking down all of the possibilities. So one of them has to be right. And I mean,
Right.
we talked about Beth Phoenix in advance. We saw that payoff.
Mhm.
We talked about how the Rumble would break down and what would happen if like Cody won, but Sami was in there. And of course, Sami was not in the
Sami
Rumble,
wasn't
which
even
was
in there.
perfect. And they
Mhm.
put that match on first. So there wasn't even like the bloodline on the show at all until that point. And
Mhm.
of course, there was the Mountain Dew black pitch
Pitch black.
black lights match or whatever. And then there was like beyond, yeah. So everything else was just kind of, but this I have to watch it back again, and I'm excited to also hear from people in the comments, just with their thoughts on the show because, I don't know, like already on Facebook, like I saw a comment I believe from Wes just not being as happy with the show, which I get.
Mhm.
We'll talk about it because I am really curious to go through our grades of this one and break it down and hear what you think because I really don't know overall.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, yeah, let's just jump into it. Let's get right into the first match. The first match that opened up was the
Oh,
men's rumble. I know. Because I meant to go and say,
wishful
like,
thinking.
I was really surprised that the men's rumble opened up. I feel like the men's rumble hasn't opened up the show since there's been two of them since the very first women's rumble
Sounds right to me.
yeah, when men opened and then women headlined. So it was like I was like, oh snap, they're starting with the men.
Mhm.
And then but I immediately was like, I know they're not. I don't think the women were headlining because I knew
Right.
there was Roman and KO. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool, all right,
Yeah.
give it to us, give
Yeah.
us men.
No, just to
Yeah.
that point, like, I kind of knew when I saw that match starting the show, which I was so happy about because I would have been really annoyed if they started with a match that wasn't the Rumble.
Mhm.
But I was like, okay, either they're gonna do the pitch black match and then the women's match, or they're gonna do the women's match and the pitch black match, and then the women's rumble, and then
Mhm.
the KO Roman main
Yeah,
event. Like I think for me that moment was like, okay, the KO Roman match is main eventing because
definitely.
it just wouldn't have made sense any other way.
Yeah, and I was actually wondering if they were gonna do men's rumble, pitch black, women's rumble, women's championship, then Roman and KO. Because I was like, because it's always like, oh, you gotta have that cool down between your headliner. And
Better
we
not be
found
the
out
man.
we found out that the cool down was some dude named Hardy.
Look, we'll
We'll
get
get
to it. I have
to
questions,
so
no answers.
yeah. So the men's rumble goes first. We get Gunther is number one, right? Gunther comes out number
Gunther,
one. We
yes.
get Sheamus was number two. This is all from the top of my head because I did not write down the order and I forgot to look up the order of
I know you live life on the edge, Mari. You
I
start sometimes
do.
just like listing out things where I'm like, you don't need to do that. But
I
I
totally
am
forgot
pulling
to look that up.
I am
Please.
pulling up the Wikipedia entry to give us the
Thank you.
order and
So
also like number of eliminations and number of times. And by the way, just like shout out to Wikipedia because they have like you could sort everything by like the most eliminations, the longest time, it's wild. Like so I have that as we go along.
yes, and you will be putting that in the chat for me to look as
Oh,
well. So, yeah, so
I'm
no,
gonna be
like
reading it
Gunther
all.
coming out first. I mean, oh my gosh, was this not a love letter to Gunther? This whole entire match, like I tweeted out maybe a third of the way through the match. Like at the very least, I was like, I love how this first half of the match is of revolving around Gunther. So because I wasn't
Mhm.
sure at that point like how far he was gonna go, but you could see just in like the first half of the match, I'm like, they are making a point that he is there, he is present, he is front and center.
Yeah.
And I saw him calling spots, which was great. I was like, that in general is legit.
Mhm.
He is calling those spots. It was so great to watch him work. I mean, Like
Yeah.
we knew how good he was when he was Walter and NXT
Mhm.
UK. Unfortunately, like we say all the time, we don't have enough time to watch a lot of extra stuff. So
Yeah.
I've always known about how great he was. Once he came over to NXT, we got to see more of what he could do. I've stopped and watched some of his attraction matches, but honestly, this run that he's been having on SmackDown has literally just made me fall in love with the character. I talked about it all the time how he's doing drag, the subtle art of drag as
How
well.
dare you?
I know. But I truly thought this Rumble, if even if he didn't win, talk about a star making turn.
Yeah, I mean, and he had 5 eliminations in the match, but also he was in the longest. He was the Iron Man
Yeah. Mhm.
of this Rumble with according to Wikipedia. So I wonder who is timing
Mhm.
this and how accurate this is. But 1 hour, 11 minutes,
Yep.
40 seconds. The next closest person was Sheamus, who entered at number 2 with about 52 minutes and 33 seconds. So
Yeah.
that was awesome. And yeah, it's cool because you never really know when people are called up to the main roster how they're going to be treated, what the where will they be treated well and shine like they should, or will they kind of be thrown to the side? And this again, I think like you said, was a star making performance, definitely, and something where like that's the thing I love about the Rumble is that you could have people perform like that at that level. I mean, even Sheamus, which I mean, Sheamus has definitely flirted with the main event multiple times in his career, but
I mean,
this
he
was like
owned it for a good few years,
exactly, and it's
and people
cool
hate
because he
for it.
and he's still, but he was still shining, and like
Mhm.
Drew was in there for about 40 minutes, Seth was in there for almost 40 minutes, right? So we
Oh
had like
man.
some people who really shined for a while, which was great.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, just some notable things. Let's talk about some notable things that
Uh-huh.
happened in the Rumble.
Let's get into it.
Um, this is so totally petty, mostly because we probably do. I was probably paying closer attention because we did our draft spots in the Facebook group,
Oh, please.
and thank you for signing me up, Matt. I was like, I love that you know that I will never respond on time, but that I want to participate. At number 5, which was my random pick, I had Johnny Gargano, which I love Johnny Gargano. This is nothing new, but he
Mhm.
had new music. He had new music, technically new music.
Did he have new music?
Yes. So Johnny Gargano's Rebel Heart, which is I
Yeah,
talk about it every time, how it is one of my favorite wrestling themes
yeah.
and it gives me goosebumps. They changed it so that it
Yes.
is a male singer now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
bit more rock heavy. It's a male singer sing. It's still the same lyrics.
Yeah.
It's still kind of the same riff, but I don't know. It's gonna have to grow on me. I'm like, I've liked the female version of it. It just because it made him different, like I
Yeah.
don't know why WWE is misogynistic and think that male
Wow.
wrestlers need male
This is
theme
where Mari
songs.
draws the line. This is where
Yeah.
she's like, I can deal with
Right.
everything else they do. Da-da-da-da-da, Mandy Rose, but the theme changing. Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, it's because WWE doesn't know women. Like, they don't know any women other than the
Yeah.
women who worked there as wrestlers. So it makes sense that it's a man now. I mean,
Am I out of
it's funny
line for
because
that?
no, no,
I
no.
thought it
And
was so different.
I listened to this. So I think they debuted it a couple weeks ago because I know
Mhm,
it's been on like Spotify and all that. And I like it. It's
mhm,
different. Like it's not better than the original. But
mhm.
sometimes we need like a little zhuzh on top of the
I
magic
don't
that's
know.
already there.
The
But
original
yeah,
just does
Mari,
something to me.
some things like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But
Right.
clearly it was broke from a legal perspective and they had to fix it. So
Mhm.
mm,
Yeah, exactly,
so
from a le exactly that, it's from the legal perspective, they
it was
had
broke.
to I know, at the very least, I guess, I'm just glad that they kept the original lyrics and all of that, so
I will say, so your pick was number 5, and we'll get to my
yes.
pick. I got confused because for the women's rumble, my pick was number 16, and for the men's, it was number 12, but I mixed those up in my head.
Oh,
So
you did?
very different people, as we'll get to.
Yes.
Very different people.
I laughed so hard when your men's pick came out. I was like, that's not fair.
Yeah. Here comes the pain.
Also, a sad part in the Rumble.
Wait. Whoa. Okay. Wait.
Funny
What are you
then
about
sad.
to do?
Funny then sad. The New
Okay,
Day,
good.
because we
Uh-huh.
got Kofi and we got Kofi and Xavier Woods just being goofballs in the middle of the ring.
What the hell are they doing, Mari?
It doesn't matter, Matt. They were entertaining the
No.
people.
I want you to explain what they were doing, because
like,
was
it looked like they were gonna.
What did it look like they were gonna do?
It looked like they were gonna fight at first. It looked like they were gonna fight. Like they cleared the ring. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna fight." Then Kofi did the thing where he runs up to him. Woods catches him like between his legs, and then then Kofi went to. It almost looked like Kofi was gonna flip him, but Kofi was between Xavier's legs. Xavier was between Kofi's legs, and then they just started hitting each other's butts like bongos. It was ridiculous because it's the New Day, and it was very funny.
Oh my god! Wait, I have a picture of this.
You have a picture?
Yeah, I have a picture. Because I was like, Mari, this was like hilarious, because I was like, what the heck is wrestling? Like, I don't even understand. But the butt bongos.
It was one of those spots.
And you know what? Good for them. Because the funny thing is, I was like, is this a wrestling move or a sequence or something? And they just got up on. They just like went from the butt bongos to being on their feet, and
like
that
nothing
was that.
happened.
Like I was like, okay, great. I'm glad we did our little performance. I loved it.
And shortly after that, Xavier Woods got eliminated. Then Kofi was about to get eliminated. I don't know what happened with the spot. It looked like there was a chair. It looked like Xavier was supposed to put a chair somewhere. I don't know, but Kofi like fell out of the ring onto the chair. One of his feet was still up kind of on the chair, but he looked like he was wrecked, like out. And they were checking on him. And so the match moved on, and at first commentary is like, Kofi's still in it. One of his feet is on the chair. It didn't hit. And then they stopped saying that, and then after a while they're like, okay, Kofi has been eliminated. So unfortunately, another year where Kofi's spot might have not happened the way it was supposed to, and it just makes me sad. And then on top of this layer of sadness, we're just going to get to it right here. I was hoping beyond hope, and I knew, I can't get mad at anybody but myself, because my expectations were just there, and there was no reason to be there. But I was really hoping Big E would come out. I was just waiting to hear his music, and when it didn't come, I was so incredibly sad. But that nobody said he was coming. There was no hint that he was coming. But I really wanted him to be there, man. And I miss him so much. Like, I hope he's doing okay.
No, I almost actually texted you this during the show, because I was feeling my predictions, where I was like, ooh, okay, Kofi came out. Ooh, Woods came out. And it was so early too with the music. And I even imagined like E coming out with that New Day music. So people were like, wait, there's Xavier, there's Kofi, they're in the ring. Oh my gosh, Big E is here. But
me too.
Neck injuries don't play. So he'll be back when it's time. And it was sad, but I really did. I was thinking about it when I heard the New Day music. It is sad. Missed him. He wasn't even there to catch Kofi or anything like that.
That's what I was hoping. I was like, maybe he can at least catch him. Like
do the Michelle McCool, like he's sitting in the crowd and then catch.
We will talk about that. Yeah, so and it's
hilarious.
Yeah. So after that spot, there's certain moments when you're going through Rumbles and stuff like that, if you've watched enough of them, where you're kind of just like, okay, there are a lot of people in the ring right now. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point, like, after McIntyre came out, I want to say, and Santos Escobar came out, I was like, there are a lot of people in this ring. You know what I'm saying?
Clear out this ring.
Who's gonna clear out this ring? And And then at number 12, here comes at Matt's pick, number 12, here comes Brock Lesnar. And I was like, wait, what? You
See, I
know?
will say I did not know that my pick was Brock Lesnar at number 12. I thought that my pick was number 16 for this one, Otis. So I was disappointed actually when I saw him come out. But I mean, Brock was. I don't even know if Brock was still in. I don't think he was even. He definitely wasn't even still in the match by that point, which is a whole other thing, which actually was pretty
So
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
So awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Brock Lesnar comes out, he chucks out what, like only about two people,
Three
surprisingly.
people.
Three, yep,
He got
3
out
people.
Angelo Dawkins, Santos Escobar, and Chad Gable.
Oh, yeah, so we got 3 people. We got 3 people that Brock Lesnar comes out, and then of course I was like, oh, so we know who's coming out next. And sure enough, the almighty Bobby Lashley's music hits. He comes out like a bat out of hell, aiming for Brock Lesnar. Now, I was like, yes, come on, Bobby, get him. But I did not realize Bobby was gonna chuck his ass so quickly. Like, that was amazing. Brock Lesnar was only in the match for 2 minutes because Bobby Lashley was not having any of it, and I love that for us. And it's exactly like we thought that they would cost each other their chance, because after Brock goes out, Lashley's in there for a little bit longer before Seth eliminates him. Seth did a great job in this match as well. And
Yeah,
I'm
I will
sure we'll talk
say
about that a little bit more.
with Brock, it was interesting to me that he gets eliminated and he is infuriated.
Yeah, he's
And
pissed.
so he lasted under 3 minutes. Like, Bobby Lashley got him out without breaking a sweat, which I love.
Yep.
And Brock slammed the steel steps on the announce table out of anger. I was surprised he didn't go back in to get Lashley out, or even just like try to drag him out. Like, he just threw a tantrum and then F5'd Baron Corbin and then walked out through the crowd basically.
Yeah, Baron Corbin came out and just get F5 for like no reason. Gets thrown into the match just to get thrown out of the match at like 7 seconds or something like that.
That's right.
It was honestly hilarious.
He deserved it. And honestly, I wanted JBL to get the business. I wanted JBL to take an F5 through a table. Actually, through a few tables would have been nice. But, you can't always get what you want.
Because this was a great middle sequence. I was literally like, wow, there are a lot of really good men starts coming out, because we got Brock at 12, Bobby at 13, Baron Corbin at 14. I know. And then we got Seth Rollins at 15. So I was like, oh, okay. And then of course, like you said, Otis. But the very interesting thing here was Rey was supposed to come out at 17, Rey Mysterio, and he was nowhere to be found. I was like, oh God, okay, all right. Like, they're like, oh, where's Rey? Where's Rey? No Rey? Skip. I was like, I thought I didn't know if somebody was gonna come out and take his place. What were you thinking at this point?
It didn't even like fully register with me, because he was supposed to come out and then Dominic comes out right after doing his best Rey cosplay. I don't know. Like, to me, stuff like that's funny because you would think that they would just send in a replacement. But I feel like there have to be other examples where they just haven't had 30 people in the Rumble match.
I mean, yeah, with the men's, you just never know, because you could look it up because there's been a lot of them, but there's nothing off the top of my head. I think of Curtis Axel never getting into the ring because he kept getting beat up. But so as soon as Dominic Mysterio came around the corner, I was like, oh, okay, I see. Like, he was wearing Rey's mask, which means somewhere backstage he beat up his father, took his mask, which means Rey can't come out unless he has his mask on. I was hoping at some point Rey would still come out and maybe cost Dominic the match, but that didn't happen, which was like, oh, okay. But I would have thought, I would have liked it if Rey came out in some sort of mask that clearly like didn't match his gear or something like that. Like, like do a little storytelling. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. Like, give us a little bit of storytelling so we confirm that Dominic was the one who stopped him, but
just that you mentioned this though, I think it is interesting because Dominic was in the match for a while. Like he was
He
in the match for
was.
about 25 minutes. But honestly, they could have really built it up more before the match to tease him potentially winning. Like I could
Mm.
see that. I mean, I don't know if I could see him winning, but I could have seen that being like one of the potential winners, but that's not what they really did. And I think it actually would have benefited Dominic to like have him proclaim like, I'm gonna win the Rumble and I'm
Mhm.
gonna do it by, you know, eliminating my dad, or so. I don't know what he would have said, but yeah, weird story that he beat up his dad backstage and we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, I actually thought it was funny that Dominic, like, lasted, like, pretty
Totally.
long in there to the point where it was almost like a gag of a I can't remember if he made
Yeah.
it to a Final 4, but he definitely made it, like, close, I wanna say.
Yeah.
But we'll keep going.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so and that was like that was a mid rumble gag. We got Booker come and do his spinner Rooney, which is okay. Like
Yeah, and
sure.
I think I called that where I was
Yeah,
like,
I
Booker
think you
T
did
will
too.
show up because we're in Texas and nobody wants to see that. But yeah, like why? You
Yeah.
know what? I don't even care. That's the thing. I don't even want to know why. But yeah, he had his less than a minute in the match and Gunther eliminated him.
Yeah. Montez coming out for like 2 seconds and then
Yeah.
getting eliminated right next to Bianca's family. I was like, oh man. Like I was kind of I wanted Montez to go a little bit longer in there.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in there for a minute. He just skinned the cat and was but by this time it was because Judgment Day were all in the ring and
Mhm.
Judgment Day basically took over. They honestly just
Yeah.
took over the match for a good
I
portion
mean,
of it.
yeah, I was gonna say for about 5 minutes of it, because that's
Yeah,
I mean, like, Priest was in for about, I think, 7 minutes, and Finn
4
was for
minutes.
4 or something like that, or
Mhm.
vice versa, but
Vice
yeah,
versa.
they had a
It
dominant
felt like
run, but a
longer.
quick one. It
Mhm.
felt like longer because they were
Yeah.
so effective, in that time.
Clearing stuff up, clearing people
Yeah.
out, yeah. But of course, Edge comes out full of fury. Like this is where this was a really good like bump too, because around the midway of the Rumble, it could get like "Oh, okay, whatever. But this
Mhm.
was a bump. Edge comes out, bad out of hell, straight
Yep.
for Judgment Day. He eliminates Finn and Damian Priest, almost
Mhm.
gets Dominic, but Finn and Damian Priest help eliminate Edge after they've been eliminated.
Yeah.
And then they start brawling on the ramp. I was
Mhm.
like, Jesus, like they really were like going at it. Rhea comes out, and I was like, I was like, girl, if you don't get to the back, you have a rumble to win. I
Yeah.
literally yelled that at my TV. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because you never know, like, if you catch a stray spear, which she did,
Yeah.
but, like, you can't be out there like that. Like, you never know. There's a lot of volatile stuff. Brock Lesnar is still on the loose. Like, if Brock Lesnar's on the loose, you need to hide somewhere. But
It
she
was
is
so
brave. She is
funny.
very brave. She's very
And then
brave. I did
yeah, when Beth came out and delivered the spear, I was like, oh, okay, so I was like, so they're not giving them time in the Rumble for this. Like, that was literally my first thought because we said on the
right.
podcast, we thought that they were going to get time in the Rumble for it. But, hindsight is 2020. I think I get why they did it like this now. But I was like, no, Beth, Rhea, stop. Like,
Man.
I was like, stop it.
I mean,
Um,
I also will say with that, I did appreciate how legit Rhea speared herself on Beth. Like, that's my favorite
that's
kind of
true. Yeah.
spear, where
Mhm.
someone runs into it as
Yeah.
opposed to the other way around. But hey, I mean, Beth is strong. Like, I believe it. I
Yeah.
believe it. Oof.
So clearly, this Judgment Day thing versus the family of Edge is not is not
Good though,
done.
because I mean, really, Beth and Edge were destroyed a few months back, but Beth really got
Yeah.
beat down with the concerto and everything. And
Yeah.
I just have to say I appreciate I mean, not that she would have shown up like the next week, but I appreciate the sell of it where it's like she's been gone since October, whenever that happened. I think Extreme Rules, if I had to guess, was when that happened.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. Something around there. Yeah. So, uh, after that, yada yada yada.
Logan Paul shows up.
Yes, Logan Paul shows up at 29, which we all called it. I called
That's
it.
smart. It was
Yeah.
good that he entered there.
But at that point, I also, when he entered, I was like, dang, I confirmed no Biggie. You know what I'm saying? That was when my
Oh,
my dreams were crushed. And of course, we
well,
knew
yeah,
Cody was coming in at 30. So
exactly. Which I think is good. Like, it's good that and it's hard when you're looking at these rumbles because, like, off the top of your head, like, none of us remembers, like, okay, all the announced people have entered, and then the people who have been announced
mhm,
haven't entered. But I appreciated this because we got Logan Paul. Cody's coming next. The disappointment about other people not being there. You kind of get over that with Logan Paul as opposed to with Cody,
oh,
if that
that's
makes
true.
sense. Like
Hmm.
like Cody wasn't going to be booed like Rey Mysterio
Hmm.
was a few years back when he
Right.
entered and everyone was disappointed. So I thought this was good, and Logan Paul, smart person is sending because he's so hateable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a great point. But it now, so because I guess the thought is people were thinking, oh, The Rock. They were thinking, Biggie or other fantastical surprises. So what was the point of, did they tell us it was Cody coming to the Rumble specifically so we wouldn't get that? But
Yes.
I don't think Cody would have been booed no matter what,
He
even
would
if
have
it
been
was a
booed in
surprise.
my mind. I think he
You
would have been
think?
booed.
I do not think he would have been
I
booed at
think
30.
it risks that he'd be booed though. It's like more likely that he'd be booed. But now it's like the anticipation of he's coming. We know he's coming and he's coming up next. And I think the smart thing
I
that
guess.
WWE did here was sending in a heel in
Mhm.
29. And Logan
Mhm.
Paul was very much in heel mode.
Mhm.
But yeah, sending him in at 29 as opposed to a face who probably would have been booed. That's my thinking.
I guess, yeah. I guess it was yeah, it was they did it on defense because especially since
Yeah.
Cody was gonna be winning the Rumble anyways. But it doesn't make sense to me that he would have been booed when for months everybody's been saying they want Cody to win the the
Yeah, but
Rumble.
you
They
know how
want
these people are?
That's true. Yeah, fickle,
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 fickle.
fickle.
Um, so yeah, so Logan Paul comes in. Of course, he did. The him and Ricochet spot was hilarious. Made no
It was so
sense.
stupid.
Made absolutely no sense.
And
But it
yet
was
they were
funny as
playing
hell.
those replays left and right of that.
It
So
was
many
funny.
replays.
It
It
yeah,
was
it,
funny.
it didn't make any sense. Why are you
No,
just gonna jump at
it
each other?
did. It did. It felt
It,
like a Fast and the Furious movie. Like, oh, come on, let's do this.
yeah, I guess. But this was the part where it was really getting down to the nitty gritty, and it was really good. Like so. Yeah, Logan Paul, Ricochet. I want to say we still
Theory.
had Seth, we had Theory, Cody Rhodes, and Gunter
Uh-huh.
in some way, shape, or form. I'm pretty sure I'm missing
And
somebody.
Braun came in at 27. He was out. So, but like you had Ricochet, Theory, Seth, Logan Paul, Gunther, and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and this last sequence or two was really good because we got Cody because when we got down to the final three after Dominic was disposed of and all of that and Theory and
Mm-hmm.
all of that, um uh we got Cody, Seth, and Gunter. And Gunter, who came in at number one, was resting in the corner. I do not blame him.
Logan Paul and not Seth.
No. I'm talking about this is when Logan Paul,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
after Logan Paul and Ricochet did their dumb little thing, Logan Paul rolled under the ropes. So
Yeah.
we kind of forgot that Logan Paul was there. So when we're at
Uh-huh.
the quote unquote final, what we think is the final three, Seth and Cody are going at it. And I'm just like, oh, yes. Like, I don't care. Like I said on our podcast, like, I need more of them fighting. It is just
Totally.
so freaking good. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then Logan Paul pops his ass up out of nowhere and just throws Seth out in the middle of this banger, like mini banger that him and Cody are putting on. And I was mad. Like I was
But
mad.
I'm
Like they
also
knew exactly what to do
I
there.
just get annoyed because I'm like, look, if you're gonna do that, go all the way with it. Like, just hide out, wait until Cody throws out everyone else, and then wait
Mm,
until Cody, maybe he'll be a little disoriented and just leave the ring.
So you
And then
want
you'll
him
be
to
like,
pull a
I'm here,
Rusev.
I won, you know? So that's, you know, I always think it's funny when people duck out of the ring and come back in, because I'm like, you could have just waited a little bit longer and brought a steel chair with you if you wanted to, like no disqualification. But whatever. Yeah, it was infuriating, and it does vex
It
me
sets it up.
that it bothers me that Logan Paul eliminated Seth, because I wonder if there'll be a follow-up on that.
There has to be. Because we were going into this. Remember, we were going into this like, what is Seth going to do for WrestleMania? We were like, Seth is gonna have to get a spot for WrestleMania, but what is it? Is it versus Roman? Is it in, you know, I said he's been doing great work all year, and this is it. He's getting Logan. There's no way he's not getting Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I'd be absolutely shocked. And that's a great spot for Seth. That's a great spot for Logan. That it's perfect. I hate celebrity matches, but celebrity matches is where you want to be, because that's going to get the most news coverage.
Yeah.
And Seth versus Logan, with what Logan has done, you know, in the ring, it's going to be a good match, because also Seth is there to carry the shit out of that match. It's going to be a good match.
I wonder what it'll be like. I can't even imagine, but it'll be great.
Yeah,
Because
I think so.
Logan Paul has done great work in all 4 of his matches so far.
I mean, I hate to say it, but he has done a very good job in his matches, and
he's committed.
Yeah, and again, he's about to wrestle Seth Rollins, who, you know, mop bucket wrestler. So I don't see how it's not going to be a good match, and I think it's great. That's perfect for Seth, and it kind of might cement his he's going through like a half face turn or like a tweener turn. So I think this will kind of help cement that he can work a face character using the same blocks that he's using for his heel character right now, or in between his tweener character. So I think that's a perfect spot for him, honestly. And it gets me to hate Logan Paul. So great. Logan Paul eliminates Seth. Cody eliminates Logan Paul, and we're down to Gunther and Cody, and another banger. How they put on like a 10-minute match after the Rumble done.
Yeah, it's like, and the one thing I don't love about this was that Cody came in at 30, because you know, like Cody coming in at 1, for instance, could have been interesting, and see him go the full distance. But the thing is, the only thing is that Cody doesn't have anything he needs to prove. So I think fans were okay with it. I just kind of wish he wasn't going against someone who'd been in there for an hour before him, just to really. But it actually makes Gunther look really good.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think it was the best of both worlds, and that's why these both of these Rumbles I think were serviceable. They're not going to be totally memorable, because I think this is a case of where they got the winners right, but the Rumbles were so. You know what I'm saying? Last year, I went back and I rewatched the Rumbles from last year while I was waiting for this to come on, and last year's Rumbles had great Rumble moments, but winners. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
because you did like those Rumbles, and then you remembered who the winners were.
Exactly. I liked a lot of the surprise spots and alumni spots that the women's match had and that the men's match had, and then the winners completely just like let the air out of the room. So I think this is kind of the opposite here. I think the winners like really hold these matches together, and we had really good winners, but because of that we didn't have anything really spectacular in the Rumble portion itself.
Yeah, I will say too, I think the other piece is that with the men, so many men were announced, and it'd be interesting to go back and see who the surprises were and who was announced. But with the women, we had so many open spots that weren't announced, and so with the men, I didn't even feel, and we, you know, like, I don't think we even really talked too much about surprise entrance for the men, just because it's like, who?
It was Booker T, Edge.
And we didn't even want Booker T. So
I know, because like number 25 through number 28, Austin Theory, Omos, Braun Strowman, and Ricochet all had said they were going to be competing in the Rumble, if I remember correctly. And so, and of course, that's your last few spots. So as those spots are coming out, I was like, ugh, I was like just groaning because I was like, oh, I forgot about these people. So, like you said, 29 was that number where it's like, okay, if we're gonna get a surprise, here it is, and we did because it's Logan Paul. It was a surprise, even though we kind of predicted it. So, but yeah, so Cody wins after a great showing with him and Gunter after the match itself. And I mean, big pops, so good, so happy for Cody. It was great.
Yeah, what a
Um,
good match. And again, we talked through some of the winners, but like Gunther also really like
oh my god, so good.
big win for him
So
too.
good. Yeah.
Definitely a win. Definitely a win. Definitely a win.
Yeah. So this will be quick.
Oh,
Next up,
oh no, what was next on the show? It
we
was
got
the
Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. So
Mountain Dew.
this match felt kind of it felt a little rushed to me. I was wondering if maybe a little bit of time got cut off for them after the men's rumble. Like I didn't know because an hour and 10-minute rumble or hour, like that's very long. I wonder if that's like that feels like one of the longest ones, I think.
Hmm.
So the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight was only 5 minutes.
Wow,
Yeah, it was 5 minutes and 5 seconds.
that's
And
really interesting.
yeah, I think what
Change.
made it feel a little bit longer than it was because they did, since it was like a no disqualification match, they did do like the announce table spots. They were able to get some really good hardcore spots in there. But honestly,
Yeah.
I looked down, looked back up, and the match was over for like
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. In the ring with these two people, I mean,
Mhm.
and that's not a comment on them as performers, but just as
Yeah.
characters, it makes sense. Plus, like,
Yeah.
I feel like Bray had his his night vision color contacts on,
Yeah, he did.
and LA Knight probably couldn't see too well, especially with that blinding
Do you have a picture of the
neon.
pitch black man? Yeah. Shout out to Puya, who was on the predictions podcast and predicted it very well. It was basically a black light, glow in the dark neon match. I actually it's so camp. I don't I actually
Black
liked
light.
it. I did. I liked it.
Oh,
I like
totally.
that the ropes were neon. It
I
was
like
so
that
funny.
LA Knight was neon, like that.
Yes.
It looks very good, like
It looked pretty
visually.
cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people probably thought it was hokey. I liked how when the light was on, you couldn't tell like Bray had that glow in the dark makeup on, and then the
Mhm.
moment the lights go out, like it revealed. And then after the pin, but before like all the aftermatch shenanigans, I think he put more paint on. Did you notice that? Like, because during the match, his face paint was like a white, if I remember correctly, and then with the aftermatch beatdown, he did something and it was like a neon red.
I don't even know what
You have the
happened.
photos, pull them up.
Well, like this is what the
See that?
visual
Yes,
is. It
yes.
did look like it was more
That's at the
paint,
beginning of the match.
but he couldn't have put on more.
Keep going, because remember there was a moment between the pin and before they started brawling to the
Hmm.
outside that they were doing
Ah,
like all the clips of stuff. Yeah,
ah,
keep going.
gosh. Oh
And
my God, this is
yeah,
wild.
oh right, yeah. While we're
So many neon things.
wait, so when they went through the announce table, they had like glow in the dark confetti hidden in the announce table,
Yeah,
which was
what the
kind of funny.
hell? And it was
I don't
there.
care. It
It
was
was
so
there for a
camp.
while. Wait, this is
And
why. Yeah, it
again,
looks
shout out to
so
Puya
good.
because he really called it because they really
Oh,
did shelter it around the Mountain Dew logo.
and yeah, he did have some like red stuff happening on his
Yeah.
face.
See,
I mean, I wasn't sure.
go
I
one
can't
more
remember if I
over.
thought it was a mask or not later on,
Oh,
but
maybe it was a mask. Okay.
it did look like a mask. Oh my
They don't
gosh.
have a good picture of it. But
No.
yeah, so then we
Yeah.
get them rumbling. We get them fighting into like this backstage area where Bray lays LA Knight down. Above
Yeah, he
him,
puts his
Uncle
hand in
Howdy
LA's mouth.
appears. Oh yeah, he did the mandible claw. Yeah, yeah.
That's
And then
that's another way of putting it.
Uncle Howdy from the top
What the
giving a
hell?
giving a
Yeah.
very like drag race moment to me.
Yeah, he did I don't even know what to call that, but like
Flying elbow.
but it was like he almost jumped completely back. It was almost like a stage dive.
It was, yeah, like if you look hard enough, he completely missed LA Knight. Because yeah, like he just crashed into the crash pads, but it looks
Good.
cool as hell. Like
It looks
Bray standing over
amazing.
there, Uncle Howdy in the
Things
top,
were on fire. There was
fire.
pyro by the
Yeah,
crash pads
it
because
was
Bray
cool.
really. That's funny. Wrestling is funny in that it's like
Mhm.
they're just random pyro places. And also the the glow in the dark glitter stuff, confetti was
Glow in the
wild.
dark
But
confetti.
uh,
It was wild. I don't know. I personally liked it. I thought it was
I
very
liked it too.
cool. Yeah,
I liked
I
it, and it was
did.
short enough. And
Mhm.
you know, I wasn't expecting Uncle Howdy to do wrestling.
Yeah, true. I like that. I mean, we've had confirmation for a while, but it's good confirmation that Uncle Howdy is a whole completely different character from Bray
Hmm.
Wyatt and that they can indeed wrestle. Um, I want more. I do. I want more. I want more. I need some explanations. Tell it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Like enough is enough with all the spooky stuff. Just kind of lay it out for me. I'm done. Like
Hmm.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the explanation. So
Yeah.
um pretty decent match overall. We did not give our scores. Oh my gosh. Okay.
The
We're
Rumble
all
men's Rumble match.
yeah. Men's Rumble match, I will give it an A minus because I actually really liked the outcome. I liked the pacing of it. I liked everything. I loved all the booking decisions during it. So I'll give it an A minus.
I'll give it an A.
Okay,
Just
great.
yeah. I mean, like, because the thing about the Rumble is that surprises are such a big part of it. And
Yeah.
while this was a great winner, and but it just would be nice if they could knock our socks off.
Yeah. So for Bray and LA Knight, I will give it a C plus. It was perfectly average. I
I'll give
liked
it a
the
B
set
plus.
dressing. Oh,
I'll give it a
okay.
B plus because it's definitely for somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll sell some action figures and toys with it and like do
It was
something in the
cute.
video games with the concept in the future. Mountain
Mhm.
Dew was showcased the proper amount. And I liked that it wasn't like it was actually glow in the dark. It wasn't like just the name of a match. I was worried about that. So that was
Don't
into
mind
it.
me. I'm just gonna see if I can get some Mountain Dew pitch black DoorDash to me. Don't let
Stop
me
it.
see
Stop it. No. I would
it.
that would be like torture if someone sent me Mountain Dew. Period.
Uh, it looks like we have a question in the chat, or not a question, but
I love the howdy stuff. So
pull it up on
Edmo
this.
with
There you
this.
go. Yeah.
There we go. I love
Yay,
the howdy
Emma.
stuff, so I'm biased with how much I enjoyed it.
I
What?
agree. I enjoyed it. I did. I just want a little bit more answers. And I thought it was very cute. I love that whole black light thing. That was cute.
It makes me nervous though when there's a black light because I'm just like I don't want to see what lights up.
What you've been doing. I know.
Not me. I'm looking at the crowd. Yeah, I mean, was it actually black light? Who knows? But I think of Room Raiders, Mari, like back
Oh,
in the
I know,
day.
right? Back in the day. Oh man, Room
Oof.
Raiders is the worst. Oh
Uh-huh.
god. I'm literally looking up some Mountain Dew Pitch Black.
Stop
Bring it to me.
ordering Mountain. But if you do get it
Bring it
delivered,
to
leave a good
me.
tip. Leave a good tip. Edmo says, "I'm dead, Mari." Oh my god. Yes, bring back Room Raiders. Like honestly, I would pay for a storyline that's
Room
all Room
Raiders
Raider
nowadays.
centric.
Oh my god.
We
Oh
need more
no.
gimmicks. Get us in the writers' room.
Next up is Bianca versus Alexa. So Bianca versus
Get that. Yeah.
Alexa right after like Howdy and Bray. I was like, okay, are we gonna get some answers? The answer to that is
No.
no.
Love that song.
Yeah. So Alexa gets in some early offense, like on Bianca. Bianca turns tides. She starts getting her offense in. I felt bad. I felt bad for them because like the crowd was not necessarily into it. It felt like at the beginning,
Yeah.
Bianca spots got some really good responses, but it really did felt like filler. I'm not gonna lie. It felt like we were waiting for
Yeah.
something to happen.
I
That just didn't
mean,
happen.
Fair enough, because it is filler in the grand scheme of things. Like, it's not
Mhm.
going anywhere beyond the Royal Rumble. I don't think anyone thought it was going anywhere beyond the Royal Rumble. So, and no one, I'd be surprised if anyone predicted Alexa winning, even though the spooky stuff could have maybe led to something. But it wouldn't make sense 2 months before WrestleMania with Bianca, who's so over as champ. Like, come on. So to me, it was filler too. And this wasn't the best match, but it did what it was supposed to do. The thing that jumped out to me, Mari, actually, that I don't know if you caught this, but um the ref, what's her, is it, I'm gonna mess up her
It was
name. Aja?
Asha.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Aja has a new name.
No, it's okay. I thought
Because I thought
I
they
was
said
tripping.
no. I heard it on, and I was like, at
Me
first I
too.
thought Corey Graves said, there's ref Stephanie Vachon. And I'm like, what? Is
Yeah.
this a reference to Stephanie McMahon and Luna Vachon? And then I went to Twitter and her name is Daphne LaShawn. I'll literally like put it in the chat
Whoa.
so you could see it. But like,
Because I heard
you got a
Stephanie
new
too.
name.
I heard
I thought it
Stephanie
was
too.
Stephanie Vachon. Like literally, I was like, this is a full-on reference, and it's a bold one with Stephanie out. But yeah, like they're
That's
like,
awesome. I
yeah.
noticed it
So
too right away.
I don't know where the name came from. I don't know why, but I had a moment where I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? I think I
I
broke.
did too. I was like, James, did they just give her a name? He's like, I wasn't listening. I was like, you have no help, because I heard the exact same thing. I'm like, that's Aja. Like, I literally was like, that's Aja. That's not somebody else. What are we talking about here? So yeah, great, good for her. I don't know where that's gonna go. That's pretty cool.
Do you think that's going somewhere?
I don't know. Just what I don't know, but that's true.
Daphne LaShawn. And why
That is such a
Daphne
great
LaShawn?
name. Oh my god. I
I mean,
don't care.
it's an involved name, definitely. But
I
I'm just
love
like,
that.
Daphne LaShawn.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. It might not go anywhere
Women's
because
champ.
they love giving their ring announcers like random ass names. Like,
Yeah, but like giving a ref a new name is hilarious,
it
because
is.
half the time, I mean, especially under Vince McMahon, they're like,
And
"There's the
Disney.
ref," and they don't even say their names, or they didn't
Yeah,
used to. So who knows? That's good. I mean, I have questions, but
I
I
do
don't think we'll
too.
get
It
answers.
was cool. I love that.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we
So
said
that
all
was the
that to say.
most notable part of this
That was
match for me.
the most exactly.
No shade, but
7 minutes 35 seconds for Bianca and Alexa, and
get that belt.
nothing spooky, nothing funny. You look up, Bianca's hitting the KOD, and Alexa is left in the middle of the ring, and then the spooky videos start, and Uncle Howdy is asking her, does she think she's the one in control? And
Do
so
you
I
feel
guess
in
we'll see on
charge?
Monday. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Do you feel in
maybe.
charge? Something like that.
And they showed it was like a whole video package, and she was looking up at the screen,
Mhm.
watching it, and it was video of her, back in the day, a couple years ago, with the blood on her face and the whole
Mhm.
Fiend gimmick. So, I mean, you always point to this, but Alexa's acting and just what
Top
she was
notch.
conveying with her face, with her eyes, it conveyed so much terror, which I think the level of depth, like, just to give her a lot of credit, to convey terror, with that character is, she could go in like the spooky, I'm gonna get everybody, versus like I'm horrified with what's happening to me and around me. And
Mhm.
they really milked it and sat on her for a while with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no complaints. She's a great actress, and I hope we get some answers soon. Please. Thank you. Now. Like,
Mhm.
so we'll see. But congrats to Bianca for retaining. Um, so many options now. So
So
many
many
options.
options, so many
I
options.
am so flippin' excited. All right. So let's move on to the women's Royal Rumble match,
Woot, woot,
which was
women.
the fourth match overall, where Rhea Ripley came in at number one,
The
and I was
Ripster.
scared. I was
Yeah.
very, very scared.
You were scared for her.
Very that. Very that. Mostly because, like, going number one, like they said, up until last night, had never happened for the women, right? Plus, she was nursing that side. She was coming down, flinching from the spear. And they made sure to, overemphasize that. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, they're either one, trying to throw some doubt on who we all know should be the winner, which
Yeah.
is great, which is what it actually was, or they're trying to justify a loss because some surprise entrant is going to come in and because we said it, I think we said on our predictions it was either going to be Rhea or a surprise entrant. I think we thought
Yeah, but I think like this is one of the things where I think if we really had to choose like with money on it, we would have all said Rhea. Just
yeah,
like we would have said
yeah,
Cody.
clearly.
Yeah.
Well, we all didn't take Cody, but yes.
Look, we would have all said with the money, Mari, the money is the difference maker. We could say anything on here.
Right.
Except I'm still pissed that Jade Cargill wasn't here. And you know what? We'll get to it because there was a surprise entrance that was really
Yeah.
notable.
So this was a little the women's felt a little lackluster to me.
Hmm.
Why I can't really put my finger on why
Because you
it
don't
felt.
like women, you're a hater.
If you don't stop it
But
right
the
now.
women's wrestlers are the best part of the
They
show.
are.
And I mean, honestly, they are like, but truly they are.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because I just love, like, I think even starting with the men's rumble, I just wanted to start with the women's rumble for the night because
Mhm.
the athleticism and everything they could do is really it just adds so much more than like the men where it's just like a beat down, like a slog, and then you get like the Ricochet Logan Paul type of stuff. But with the women, it's like high intensity, high action.
Mhm.
And they even had like good story in there,
They
with
did.
Damage Control doing their thing and some other notable stuff
I
along the way.
I think the biggest thing of it is like any long gimmick match like that going second is hard. You know what I'm saying? Because
Uh-huh.
the men's match was actually really good. So by comparison, you're comparing the matches and they went second. Plus, they went later on in the night. It was like 10:30, but they were around there
Wow.
when the women started.
Yeah.
So
I will
like
also say, like, just a shout out here in this match before we even like really go into it, but Liv Morgan, and this is the
yeah,
thing that I think is so powerful, is like just she was there just as long as Rhea Ripley,
she
and
was.
that's awesome because we don't see that often, like
Mhm.
end to end. The
Yeah.
first and the second being the last two in, like, what? So, I love this for Liv because she needs this type of stuff that's building
Yeah.
her up, and I love that, and I love how it was even hyped up and everything, and how she left her handprint on Raquel Rodriguez, the other week, and, she was right.
Mhm. Yeah. I also think it also kind of felt you could tell it felt like the women were coming in faster to me. Did that feel like that to you? It felt like they were coming in
100%.
faster,
They
right?
were. I love that
Yeah.
about the Rumble timing, that they don't
Yeah.
stick to the
Yeah.
90 seconds, did they say? Or
I
what do
don't
they
who even
say?
knows.
I don't know what they
I think
say,
it's
but
like
I
90
know that
seconds.
I was so happy when I was like, "Okay, good. Like, let's get another entrance." They timed
Eh,
it where it made sense with the beats of the match itself
yeah,
instead of
and just like when Bianca came in third and ended up winning overall, you could feel like they're rushing it so that
yeah,
their winner who is already in there can still be like standing because poor Rhea. Can we talk about how Rhea comes in number one? Immediately she's bleeding for I
her
don't even know
nose.
what her nose just starts bleeding.
Yeah,
Um, she's down. She
she's
basically
nervous.
everybody comes in, hits their move on Rhea, and Rhea goes back to the corner. And like it's like every time.
Ugh,
Uh, I listened to a little bit of the post press conference. Her knee actually popped out of place. Just it dislocated
what?
somewhere in the middle of the
What?
match. Yeah, her knee
No.
dislocated somewhere in the middle of the match. She was able to pop it back in and continue. I was like, Rhea,
Oh my
stop.
god. I was having knee sympathy pains during the match. That must have been why.
That's what I
Wow.
have no idea at what point because I didn't catch it, but she said it in the press conference, but like if you watch the match, you notice that like she's at number 1, right? But Bailey comes out at number 6, and I think this is where this made sense, right? Because so we get Rhea, Liv, Dana Brooke, and then Emma, and all 4 of them were still in the ring, and I was like, At number 5, I was like, a heel needs to come out because it was like Rhea Ripley was the only heel against 3 like faces, and then
Yeah.
Shayna Baszler pops out. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. Like I was like, this makes sense to me. And then Bailey comes out. Bailey coming out at 6. I was like, oh, Bailey's out at 6. I was like, okay. So I was like, I knew Bailey. We knew Bailey wasn't gonna win.
Yeah.
Her coming out at 6 was still a little surprising. And luckily for her, she gets Dakota and Io a few spots later. So we get a section of the Rumble where Damage Control is literally running the Rumble. And because they're running the Rumble and the spotlight is on Bailey and Damage Control, and Damage Control are the ones clearly dictating the flow of the match, Rhea, thank God, can just lay there.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and look, they had their little armbands, they're matching neon armbands, which like I feel like they were totally ready to take the place of the pitch black match if they wanted to. But it was cool, like they had a thing. That's always interesting to me that they came in so close to Bailey. I would love to have seen, Bailey paying someone off for that, because that's just a good coincidence.
Yeah. And so this is kind of the first third of the match is basically setting up Damage Control. But I do want to point out, B-Fab came out. She looked so good. I was surprised.
She did a good job. She did such a good job with her 36 seconds in there. Because I was worried. I was
very worried.
Some of the ways that I've seen her bump, or that we've seen her bump, and just like, no offense, but she did a great job with.
She did so
time.
good.
It reminded me kind of weirdly of Cameron last year.
Yes.
Because she was just so great, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what? But I think when someone's like there for that moment, and they could really nail it, like that's what's good. And it was cool to see that she could do the job that needs to be done. It would be nice to see more of her in the ring. But hopefully we're getting there.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was really cool that she got her chance to shine, and she was technically the first person eliminated.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah,
for good
but
reason.
for good reason. So it was great. And then Roxana Perez comes out, aka Roxy, comes out the NXT Women's Champion. So that was kind of cute. That was cute. She got a really good hometown pop because she's from Texas. Yeah, famously a student of Booker T. So she was in there for a little less than 5 minutes before Damage Control tossed her out unceremoniously, but it's fine. They started their tossing spree because Damage Control took out the second person, third person, fourth person, fifth person. Let's see. Like they took out all of the people's, the sixth person, the seventh person, so Damage Control went on a run. They literally all eliminated so many people.
I had a moment with this where I was just thinking to myself, they need to put me in a Royal Rumble, because like if it were a shoot, I would go in with it's like it's Survivor, like with alliances, like, okay, here's my 10 people who I'm going to work with, get the other 20 out. You have to like kind of take like I don't know, there's just like a lot of good Big Brother and Survivor influences, I think, for this, where you need alliances. Like, why do these people not have alliances going into this match, even if they're not friends? Because Damage Control really was killing it. I would love to see more people working together, in future years with this stuff.
Yeah. So because Damage Control is really basically just taking care of business that whole entire time, it's just like
TCB.
Yeah, a little bit of a lull there until Becky Lynch came in, and Becky Lynch started. She threw out Bailey and the rest of Damage Control. So it was What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say like
Wait.
that middle portion was like kind of, it was okay, but it was like lots of cannon fodder for the Damage Control Becky situation. You know what I'm saying? Like getting Zoe
Mhm.
Stark and like Xia Li and all of them and Candice LeRae, like they really just got caught up in what was going on between Becky and Bailey and all of them.
I have to say, Zoe Stark looked really good in this. Like, just her intensity is on another level. Like, her energy is on
Mhm.
another level. It stood out to me,
Mm,
even though I've never been someone who's been like too fond of Zoe Stark. What,
yeah,
did she do something wrong?
I am
Are
not
we
a Zoe
canceling her
Stark
for
fan.
some reason?
She's not canceled, but
Oh, thank God.
yeah. No, yeah. So, and then of course, so Becky and Damage Control, they all eliminate each other and they start brawling to the back, which was really funny.
By the way, Mari, what was your number in the Job as a Squad cast draft for this match?
For this match, I was number 5. No,
Oh,
no. Oh,
no.
sorry, I was number 3. I was number 3.
So you had Dana Brooke.
I had Dana Brooke.
And honestly, if you ask me and Victoria, a mother from Cage, that's a good pick.
Yes.
I would have
Who did
taken
you
a
who
Dana
did you
Brooke win
have?
here. So I'm like, am I number 12
What
or
number?
16 here?
Oh,
16, I
16.
think, with
Oh,
Tegan
so you
Knox.
had Tegan Knox. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know
Um,
her with the hair.
so yeah, with the hair. So all that Becky Lynch Bailey stuff, great. But we need to talk about Asuka. We need to talk about Asuka.
Yes, of
Oh my
course.
gosh, we got it.
There's a
We
few
got
people
it.
we have to talk about
Yeah,
actually as
we
we
do.
go forward, but Asuka?
We got the dark one. We got the dark clown, the deranged clown. We got Kana. It
Yeah.
is. Oh, I'm so
We
excited.
kind of got Kana, and it was nice.
Oh,
Like, it was cool with the
sorry.
mask, and I'm gonna, for the
It was so cool.
video viewers, I'll see if I could even find a great picture of that mask upon entrance, but damn, she looks
That
so
pop,
good.
yo. That pop. Like, oh, welcome back, Asuka. She still got it. Asuka still got it. Like the
Talk
crowd still reacts
Yeah.
to her. This new gimmick. I want her to be unhinged. Unhinged
Talk
Asuka.
about
Like,
the power of booking, though, too, because
yeah.
they could have been doing this with her, and what a way to come out with that
Wow.
awesome, I think, like, dragon mask or
Yeah.
something, which was really amazing, and then she takes it off, and it had, like, the
That
iconic
reveal.
Kana face paint and everything,
Mhm.
and she was just laughing, having a good old time, so shout out to Asuka. I'm glad
She
she's back,
reigned.
and, like, the fact that it
The
really
short hair, she
the
brought it
short
back.
hair, like, just everything about it was, like, next level, and I like that the crowd really was behind her in this moment. That was and the
Mhm.
announce team, Corey Graves sells so hard for Asuka, and I love that.
Yeah, it was great, and I was
Mhm,
like, "Oh my god," I was out of my mind.
mhm.
Next up, I mean, talk about a run here. Piper Niven?
Oh,
Piper
they were like, "What? What? Piper Niven? We're allowed to say that name? What? What?
Piper
Dude,
Niven,
what happened?
Dewdrop is,
Dewdrop.
yeah, she got her name back.
She didn't even need it. She didn't even need it. That's the
It's
thing, that's how
cool.
good she's been.
Yeah,
She could have been Dewdrop, but I think the thing about Piper is, like, it's a new day. Yes, it is. And
yeah.
she's, like, able to own that.
Yeah,
I'm happy for her that she has her name back.
me too.
It was a long time coming.
And she looked great. She looked great in the match,
And
honestly.
they referenced Eva Marie at one point on commentary. So I'm glad Eva didn't show up here. We didn't need that.
Are you glad? Because
I mean, here, because, like, yeah, I'm glad that I love Eva Marie, but I'm
that's what
glad
I'm
she didn't need to
saying.
show up here. I'm happy if she shows up on, like, Monday Night Raw, and then they continue a story of WrestleMania,
Oh,
because I would
Jesus.
love Eva Marie versus
Gross.
Piper Niven to main event. That's some long-term storytelling.
Well, anyways, Tamina was next, whatever.
Lying to
But
myself.
Chelsea Green comes out, and she gets a
Yeah.
pop. I
What
think
number was
Chelsea
she?
Green
Number
gets a pop. She
20?
was 20. She was 20.
Yeah.
I
That
think
was
she got a
interesting.
reaction. That was interesting.
She That was very fascinating to see her come out because
Me
she's
too.
very
Yeah.
great with the character work,
Mhm.
and, like she was definitely giving delusional heel on her walk to the ring, which paid off
Mhm.
because she delusionally was thrown out immediately when she got in.
Yep, 5 seconds. So she now holds the record for the
Is that
fastest
true?
elimination. Yes, that is very true
That's what they said.
because
Okay.
Liv Morgan used to hold that record at 8 seconds,
8
but
seconds. Okay.
yeah, but now it's Chelsea Green with 5 seconds. So Liv Morgan coming up big in this match because she now like jointly holds the record for longest time in
Uh,
the Rumble and now no longer has the shortest time in the Rumble. So good for her.
somebody needs to do the math on that one. It might be me to figure out how much longer she was in this one than her 8-second time. So
So
do the math,
I
people.
I also want to point out right about this time, I was like, we're at the 20th person to enter, right? But
Uh-huh.
Chelsea Green is the 9th person eliminated. So we still have a little bit over
There were a
half
lot of
of the
people in
field.
there.
There were a lot of people. I tweeted out, like, there are a lot of people in this ring. Who is coming to
Mhm.
clear it out? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
woo. So
I don't know.
Zel
I don't know.
Zelina looks great. We
Yeah,
get
there was a
Raquel
whole
Rodriguez. Mhm.
Selena was doing a it was like
Cosplay.
a Street Fighter
Street
product
Fighter
placement
cosplay. Yeah.
integration, whatever.
Mhm.
And she did a great job. Like she did a great job in there.
It was an ad, yeah.
I wonder if it's like, okay, we need her to look strong for the Street Fighter game, which is funny because that game is coming out in June, they said. So like we're a little
She looked
early.
great, yeah.
She looked great, but
I
I
tweet out,
thought,
"She looks so good, oh my god." And
yeah,
she
yeah.
normally cosplays for, like, big stuff like this, so I wasn't surprised. I just thought it was cool that it was, like, linked to she
Oh
was
no, it
doing
was
something with
yeah,
Street
it was a
Fighter,
full
yeah,
on product placement. Like that's,
yeah.
but yeah, that's like my marketing brain. Like, wait, why were they promoting it so early? But she
It
did a
makes
great job, and
sense,
she was
yeah.
in there for a good while. She was in there
Like 11
for
minutes, 11
yeah, yeah,
minutes.
yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, so and then yeah, Mia Yim, good for her, she comes out, and
Michin
this is where
as
this is
Michin.
Michin, sorry.
No, no,
This is
no. Yeah, they even say Mia Yim on Wikipedia, but I feel like they made the whole on like,
well, they said well, no, actually, the Chiron said Mia Yim, Michin. So it's
oh,
like,
that's funny.
yeah, they're still halfway between it. So like, even like, because on commentary, I think it was Corey who was like, it's Michin. Like it was like the longest.
He's like, somebody in my ear, Triple H, come on, let me know. What is it? What do we
Yeah.
call it today?
So I think they're still going back and forth. That's fine. I'm cool with it. It's not bad to me. I don't think it's like the worst new name we've gotten. So
No, definitely not the
yeah.
worst new name
We're
we've
looking at
gotten. I mean,
Butch and
Dewdrop.
Dewdrop. Yeah.
Yeah. Butch and
um
Dewdrop. Thank you.
so Michelle McCool, like you famously referenced, comes out of the audience. I was like,
Wait,
this isn't
hold
how
on.
Rumbles work. Like,
Okay, we're just gonna skip over
oh, Lacey Evans
Michelle
coming out.
McCool's spiritual successor. Like, I do feel
Oh,
like
right.
this is like Michelle
They
McCool
didn't even
light.
interact, did they? Yeah.
I don't. They were both in there for a while, so they must have, but I don't remember anything.
Yeah,
Lacey
exactly.
Evans. Oh, and full on heel Lacey. It's funny. They did reference Sergeant Slaughter,
They did.
but
Yeah.
I don't really have anything I want to say about her. I just
I
wanted to
know.
acknowledge her presence
It
out of being polite.
it was very funny that like Michelle McCool, they're like, oh, she's right at ringside behind us. She's with her kids, and then she's like, oh, me?
She was like,
Oh, okay, and
wait,
unzipped her. She
yeah,
had a sports bra on and some like
she left her kids to
yes,
wrestle. Like, come
some
on, that's not.
sweatpants.
I gotta say, I
They
mean,
can't
where's
just
the
hit your
Undertaker?
music and you're in. Like that's not how that works.
And do you get to bring your kids with you?
Oh my gosh, I don't
That
even
would have been
know.
something. No, I mean, honestly, the only thing that was disappointing about that was because we saw Michelle in the crowd earlier in the night. So I thought, oh,
Mhm.
she's not going to be in the match. And then the music plays. Like, is it Layla? No, no, no. You see Michelle's name on the side of on the screens and everything. So it's
Mhm.
Michelle. And she seemed confused, but she was ready to go. So good for her. I mean, again, somebody has to have been asking for it. And she does have like some Texas connections
Mhm.
nowadays. So fair enough. I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. Yeah,
I'll allow it.
it was interesting. I mean, I don't know. It was cool.
14 minutes of Michelle McCool though in 2023.
It really did feel like they had like one more spot open. They were like, okay, cool. Come on, girl. Indy Hartwell came out from NXT. That was cute. Love Indy. All right,
Mhm.
let's just get down to business. At this
Please.
point,
Uh,
at this point, it's like, okay, who's going to be 30? I am very sad because as it's getting smaller and smaller, I'm realizing Naomi is not going to be here again.
okay.
Something
Ugh,
I know it was my
you're
fault.
no, no, well, that's not even okay. I'm with you on that, but I will say I was legitimately disappointed because I thought Lita was showing up. And the reason
Oh,
why is because they had WrestleCon happening in San Antonio. She was there. I looked through everyone else. Like Medusa was there, Lita was there. Trish was supposed to be there at WrestleCon, but couldn't because of like, family stuff and kids and all. But I was thinking, oh well, if they're in Texas, like Medusa's gonna show up, Lita's gonna show up. We didn't get that. And
yeah.
that does hurt. That hurts a little bit,
Mhm.
We could have replaced a few of the entrants here. But yes, number 30. I'm so curious how you felt about number 30. Your
I
girl.
just I just felt glad that I was right because I just love being right. Honestly, the one thing I love more than anything is just
So
being right.
petty.
I know. So I was not again. When I tell you, I was like, there are too many people in this ring. Like, there's too many people in this ring because there's still at least like 10 people up in this ring by the time 30 came out. Like, it's
Yeah.
like 12 people in the ring by the time she came
Yeah.
out. So at the very least. So when there was no Naomi at 29, I was like,
I was okay.
I don't think they were gonna give her 30. I didn't think they were gonna give Naomi 30.
I was
So
expecting it though, and she did her see, this is the part I don't like about Naomi. She's on Twitter like, "I love all of you," and
yeah,
then right as the Rumble match starts, she posts like her little green
green
neon
heart.
heart. Like, why
Yep.
are you doing this? Do you want us to be disappointed? I guess she's probably
I
okay
think
with
she
us
wanted
being
us to
disappointed.
I think she was trying to signal, girl, I'm not gonna be there. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe, but also at the same time, it's like, could you imagine the Rumble match is about to start and she's backstage with her phone tweeting out her little green neon heart? Like, come on.
Yeah.
You never know.
So Nia Jax comes out at 30 to Rocket's booze as she deserves. Um,
Again, good placement of a heel.
yep.
I was a little scared though. I was a little
She
scared.
actually she eliminated nobody because by the time she got into the ring, she was like cussing everybody out, and every single person in that ring turned on her.
And honestly, you know what? I hate that spot that they do with the bigger competitors where it's like 10 people attack them and then they like make themselves big and push everyone back. And I'm like, I know Nia has been off for the last year and a half from wrestling, but like you're not that strong, girl. Like you can't do that. You can't
It
do
was
that.
kind of funny though. I
It was
like there were
funny.
12 people.
I wanted her out
12
so bad.
people.
I wanted her out. I didn't want her in the final four. I was
And
expecting
we
it.
didn't get it.
I
It was
don't want her
great.
back. I hope that she's happy with her future endeavors. I'm sure she has a beautiful life. But ooh, I'm glad that you're happy being right because
I am.
that's all that we could take from that.
I hate it. She's so problematic. She's so problematic. However, you need somebody to hate like that. Like she elicits so much good heat, like
Yeah.
or bad whatever.
We're
It's so much
yeah.
heat
Mhm.
and the strength. Like I said,
That Nia
I love
Heat.
growing up on like I love growing up on like women's wrestlers who were big. Like China is like my favorite women's wrestler of all time. So like we weren't getting any dewdrop. I said it on the podcast. They should push Piper like they pushed Naya. And maybe it might be too late now that Naya's back. I don't know. But like
Mm.
I was just I Naya is good at making people hate her. I'm sorry. She's really good at it. And I would love to see her get beat up every day of the week. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
She's just
but
good at it.
sure. I
I
won't give
know.
her that much credit that she's I would not say that she's good at making people hate her. I just think people kind of hate her.
I mean, I agree. I'm the true test will like now that she's been off and for a year or so, like when she gets back into the ring, it's like how is her style going to evolve?
Oh
Is she gonna
no.
work safer? Is she gonna,
She's
what are
not.
we
Is
gonna
she
do?
back?
I don't know. I mean, I don't see why not. I don't understand why you give her that spot and not bring her like back fully. And like I
Mm,
said, they didn't set up a story for her. You
no.
take any baby face that you're trying to push, put them up against Nia, and they'll get the immediate reactions. Like
Sure.
honestly,
Sure.
so
And you know what? Heels, we do need more women who are heels on the main roster in like strong, believable heels. And
yeah,
Mandy Rose is one who could have been really great. Um, and obviously she's no longer with us. So, I just yeah, I mean, it
to
would be I don't need Nia back. I don't need her back, especially with this kind of poor Rumble performance by her.
She's only in there for 2 minutes. She eliminated
Yeah.
nobody because 12 women eliminated her. So we got
Yeah.
Asuka, Lacey, Liv Morgan, Mia Yim, Michelle McCool, Nikki Cross, Piper Nevin, Raquel Rodriguez, Rhea Ripley, Shotzi, and Sonya Deville all gang up to eliminate Nia Jax.
I would have
Her
loved, like, to
suit looked really good
see.
though,
Yeah,
too.
yeah, she looked good, and, I would have liked to see, like, one of them eliminate her, like, just give someone that I wouldn't call it a push, but give someone that moment of, like, Liv Morgan clotheslines Nia Jax over the top, or Asuka, knocks her over, and they could have, like, kind of finagled it different ways, but okay. Yeah, we'll see if she's back and around.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think I don't yeah. Naya has some very stupid stuff. She has very stupid beliefs and she um doesn't seem to respect the business as much as some others, you know? Um but that's like toss a rock and you'll hit
Oh,
10 other wrestlers that are exactly the same, to be
see what you
quite
did
honest.
there? Like, the
Yeah.
rock a rock? They're
Yeah.
related, they're family, or are they play
Yeah.
cousins? Who knows?
Play cousins, yeah.
But
No.
yeah, no, it's like it's just interesting because the I don't know. I'm with you. I'm whatever. We'll keep going with this because I feel like I could talk about Nia and I'm frustrated by her. I just
Yeah.
think it's interesting though that she was it last year in April. Yes, I feel like she was the one who tweeted some stuff when the Vince allegations started to come out. Like, so that
She
should be
threatened
interesting.
to, like, leak company secrets, like,
It's
I
like, what
don't
do you know? Show us the tapes. This is the new Watergate.
people been
Let's
saying
go.
it. She had something on WWE. They keep bringing her back, so I don't
I mean, I wanna know what she has on them, and honestly, like, look, this might be their way of getting rid of her because it's just sketchy, and I just wanna know the truth, and I want her to be able to speak the truth if she's gonna do it. Yes, it's messy. Yes, she's problematic, but if it's against Vince McMahon and some of the others there, I'm all for it. So, there probably was a lot of stuff against Johnny Ace, though, and he's gone.
Oof, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright, so let's move on from the Nia Jax. That was cute. It was like they
please.
eliminated her, but our final 4, could you have imagined the final 4? It was weird to me, so
Oh,
we had Rhea and Liv were the final 3, right? Or sorry, the final 2. We had Asuka, who's the final 3 with
of
them.
course.
That made sense. Why was Nikki Cross in the final 4? Like,
You know,
I was stunned at that, especially since Raquel got out before Nikki Cross did.
good
Piper got out before Nikki Cross did.
choices.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Like Nikki Cross held in there before Liv eliminated her. So, whatever. That final three. I don't know if you have a good picture of it. That
Sequence.
final 3 sequence was fire. Like so good.
Yeah, so it was them basically where do you start with it? Is it just like them
Right.
on the apron as the
On the apron.
sequence?
Yeah.
Ugh,
Well, who was out there first? Was it Rhea and Asuka who were facing out on the apron first? Then Liv Morgan comes out there or one of the two. at one point, all three of them were on the apron, and I was like,
Yes.
"Oh no, no!" Like Rhea would look like she was giving us that teeter totter thing, and
Yeah.
then she hits Asuka. She ducks, and Asuka hits Liv Morgan with the blue mist here.
Yeah.
Such a good sequence because
Which like such a yeah, please,
yeah,
please
no, no,
keep
keep
going.
going. No, 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 you go, you go.
Yeah, no, I just love that even too that the mist became a factor in it too, because it all made so much sense where Liv,
So
she
good.
can't see anything, and that's pretty helpful in the Rumble. And honestly, if any of them won, I would have been okay with it at that point.
Me too.
Like
Yeah,
even Liv, like because she really did earn it in this match, and so I mean, it all was so perfect,
it was so
and
funny.
I know, and so much better than like Asuka's win. Not to compare, but Asuka's win against the Bella Twins
Oh,
with
the
that little
Bella
kick
Twins.
on the apron. Like this was actually inspired and
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, because once Asuka hits Liv with the blue mist, Rhea like hits Asuka off the apron,
Like
eliminating
with the little
Asuka.
619 type of thing,
Yeah. And
basically.
then but then Rhea's hanging on by the thread, by the rope. And I love how Liv Morgan is just acting like blind. She's like, ah, like it was like blind, like blonde girl. It was so funny. And she's like grabbing at the ropes, and then finds Rhea's hand and starts like beating on Rhea's hands.
And
And
this
then
is where,
Rhea, yeah.
honestly, Liv, and it's perfect because after an hour plus, like, and with the blue mist in her eyes, you can't blame her for being disoriented
Mhm.
because in some sense it's just like get back in the ring, you're in the Royal Rumble, but also you have to appreciate Liv Morgan being the character she is. She's like, I want to get Rhea out while I can, so
Mhm.
she really went on the offensive as opposed to the defensive, which I think really fits Liv's character. And it all makes so much sense. And then the way that Rhea ended it with those legs,
Yeah, like a what is that? Like a not a Frankensteiner.
it was definitely like yeah, I don't know what to call it, but with the leg
Almost like a
scissors
yeah,
flipping Liv out,
yeah.
it was giving. Actually, you know what? Rhea gives big Bond villain energy, but it was definitely giving like big Bond villain energy. I'm sure there's like some Bond man or woman who
Yeah.
strangled people with their legs, and
I mean,
that could be Rhea.
that was it. And every time Rhea eliminated somebody, she made a face. It was funny. It was cute.
Mhm.
Like I thought this was great. I thought Rhea winning was great, pointing to the WrestleMania sign. I'm so freaking excited because she could honestly pick either Charlotte or Bianca, and I
Exact
think
Yeah,
it would be good.
and that's what you're
So,
talking about too, which is the magic of it. Like, it could really be either of them, and yeah, I guess we'll get to the point where we speculate about it. We'll have a lot of time to do that, but,
yeah, on a different podcast
yes,
because
not
we
today,
are
not today.
yes, we are
No.
going in. So yeah, so for the women's match, I think we forgot to grade Bianca and Alexa.
See.
C minus. All right, for the women's rumble match, I'm gonna give it a B plus because I thought it was great. I thought it was predictable. No real big surprises other than the surprise that I had already called out. And I thought it was
Uh,
perfect winner. So I'll give it a B plus.
you know what? The only thing I really have to knock with it is just, like, some of the entrance. I would have loved some more surprise entrance,
Me
but
too.
that's on us again. Just getting our hopes up about all the possible people it could have been, but they really should have and could have done more. I guess I'm just looking through, and I mean, everyone, like, it makes sense that the people who were in there, and you know what? It would be disappointing, even from a performer's perspective, not to see someone like a Shotzi in there, not to see a Mia Yim, even though I think she's definitely got to be in there, not to see a
Mhm.
Nikki Cross. So, you know, I do appreciate that so many of the women on the current main roster got spots as opposed to legends getting it. And because it does make me a little sad to think about all of the women who wouldn't get to be part of Royal Rumble, as iconic as it is, if there were more legends. So, you know,
Yeah.
BFAB being in there. So I will give it a what grade did you give it, Mari?
B plus.
I'll give it a B plus. I wanted to give it a little bit lower, but a B plus. Just because like again, all our fault in terms of expectations. But awesome match, amazing finish,
Yeah, amazing finish. Amazing
amazing
finish.
winner.
Yeah, amazing match winner. So let's finally get to the Roman versus KO match.
Let's
Well,
talk
no,
about
or
it.
should we talk about the Hardy? Like what?
What
Why was
happened?
there
What
a
are you talking
concert in the
about?
middle of the? It's 11:30 at night, sirs. I don't want to hear this dude singing his hip hop, his country slash rap. I don't. I
You
don't. And
could talk about it if you want. I'll
no,
watch
no, no.
you.
I just want people to complain. If y'all complain about Flow Rider at WrestleMania, then we need to complain about Hardy at the
I don't
Royal
have it.
Rumble.
I don't have it for
It
Hardy like
was
that.
11:30. Bring Roman out,
The
dog.
only
Like
Hardy I would have wanted is
a Jeff, a Matt.
not Matt, and probably not Jeff either. They have kids.
Wasn't there another? Was there another? Anyways, yeah. So it was just
Lita
I was
Hardy.
like, this is dumb. No, oh God, no. Don't let Reby hear you say that. Um,
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, it was stupid. But okay, so we get Roman and KO.
Thank
I
you.
mean, just a banger match.
Match.
Like Roman and KO work so well together. I mean, honestly, the flow. It was kind of overshadowed because we're all just staring at Sami Zayn's facial expressions, right? Even the camera just keeps talking about his facial expressions. Oh, what's going through his mind? You know, it was kind of hard to focus at that point between the match and then Sami Zayn's facial expressions, and then like again, it's 12 o'clock at night. I'm tired.
I know,
Um,
but I mean, the thing is, match. It was what it had to be.
mhm.
I don't know. I guess I'm curious, like how the match itself landed for you because I wasn't even really that
Paying attention.
invested in the
Mhm.
match itself. I
Same.
wasn't that invested in the match itself. I was more invested in the aftermath.
Exactly. So I wasn't invested in the match itself till the ref bump. You know, I was watching. I was like, it's cute. It's whatever. Ref bump happens. I sat up. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
here it is. Like the shenanigans are a coming. The shenanigans are a coming.
Mm-mm.
Because it was a good match. We get a ref bump. We get the visual of KO pinning Roman,
Yes.
which we always get, and then we get a low blow by Roman, and you know what, 4 spears or something like that before KO goes down eventually.
Yeah.
The match
He was
itself was
fighting.
alright. Yeah, it did what it needed to do, honestly. Um it gave us the visual win of KO winning, right? Whatever, cool. That prolonged beatdown of KO
Finally.
afterwards,
Yeah.
that post match, whoo, that was hard to watch. That was really hard to watch.
Yeah. And I mean, the handcuffs always get me,
Mhm.
but just seeing him hanging there like that with all those handcuffs, like, please. Because it's so sad because you're always wondering, like, how is he going to get out of this? They just did, I think, a handcuff spot with the Judgment Day and Edge
Mhm.
back at, I'll
Oh,
call it
yeah,
Extreme
yeah.
Rules.
Yeah.
And then Beth, I believe, got the key from Rhea, and that was
Right.
cool. But, like, you're always wondering, like, what's going to happen? Where's this going to go? Is someone going to get a
Yeah.
key? Does Sammy have the key? You know? And this felt so unpredictable to me.
Yeah, it's like, is somebody gonna come out? You just like, it's like, no, whew.
Woo!
No, Usos did a great job. Like the punches, the way they throw their punches,
Uh-huh.
they verbalize their punches. It's like, Jesus.
Uh, uh,
Yeah, like,
uh,
yeah.
uh. Yeah, yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I love the
Uh, yeah, it was. I was like, oh my God. Like it was so incredibly hard to watch, right?
uh-huh.
And just one after another, just prolonged beat down. Sammy just standing there. They handcuff him. Roman is about to hit him with a chair, and Sammy stops him. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh God, Sammy. He's like, it's fine, you're enough. He's you know. But
this is
Roman,
below you, Roman.
yes, it's below you, Roman. I thought it was a good tactic to take if you're gonna take that tactic. But Roman tells Sammy, hands him the chair, hit KO, and we all saw it coming. Come on, we all saw this coming. Let's not pretend like we didn't see this coming.
I
The moment,
mean,
the
Sammy could have
moment he
definitely done a little hit himself in the head with the chair and just just because like that's a tough place. When you're between a rock and a hard place, sometimes what you need to
You
do
hit yourself.
is hit yourself with the rock, or a steel chair.
So Sammy has a chair. Roman turns his back on Sammy, and Sammy, with the ultimate shout out, callback to the Shield,
Uh-huh.
hits Roman on the back with the chair. Roman is shocked, but not shocked. It feels like,
Yeah,
and then
he was
mhm,
like, it was weird because it was such a moment. Like he hits Roman in the back with the chair almost hesitantly. Like there was
yeah,
not passion.
there was not power to it. Yeah,
Uh
yeah, yeah.
there's no power to it. And KO's knocked out there, and the Usos don't do anything immediately. And Roman is just having a moment like, this always happens to me. There's always someone turning on me. He had this flashbacks to the Shield days with that. So that was like a big moment. I love this. I love all the facial expressions.
Yeah, it was like Roman was like legit in this picture. He's like shocked, he's like that, or it's more like I know he didn't just do that type thing, like I know that's not what just happened, and so immediately Jimmy starts beating up Sami Zayn immediately,
Rude.
right? Then Solo pushes Jimmy out of the way to start beating up on Sami Zayn to get the
Yeah.
spike, to give him a spike. Jay is just sitting there stunned, right?
Uh-huh.
Jay is like, "Oh, we're supposed to be brothers," saying that to Sammy,
Yeah.
and Jay is hesitating. I'm like, "Oh man, what is Jay gonna do?"
He's a real one.
Jay leaves. Jay leaves. Ah, the drama of it all.
You know what? That story-wise, to be where we are at this point, where that's what we get, where Jey Uso, of all people, is so disgusted by the idea of taking out Sammy. What? 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 I wasn't expecting it.
Somebody on Twitter, I'm sorry, I'll find it and try and make sure I credit, was like, "This was never Sammy's story. This has always been Jay's story."
Well,
And when you think of it like that,
everybody's story, like everyone has, but it has been Jay's story more than I think anyone has really realized or credited.
yeah, because it's always been Jay in some sort of opposition to Roman, but not overtly. You know what I'm saying? With the, we of course the main event Jay Uso series, but when they initially accepted Sammy and Jay was the one who didn't, and Jay was like, "Man, forget what the tribal chief says," right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he reluctantly takes in Sammy, and now everybody's against Sammy, and now Jay is reluctant to turn. Like Jay has always been the one to like not really immediately go with the flow.
Uh-huh.
There's just so many layers, and just seeing Sammy and KO laid out like that. Roman starts beating up on Sammy, of course, and then the crowd would get the "fuck you Roman" chants. Like it was a reminder that Roman is the heel.
Mm-hmm.
This was
And
great
he
stuff.
deserved it, and it was beautiful.
It was
I
so
think
good.
the thing that was so powerful though was just Jay walking away. Like beyond him even just leaving the
Honestly.
ring,
Yeah.
like the whole walk. And it was so, for me to see the divide between Sammy, KO, and Jay,
Mhm.
and then Solo, Roman, and Jimmy, like, whoa,
Mhm.
where are we going? Where exactly are we going is my question, because
Right.
we've talked about the Usos versus KO and Sammy at Mania,
Mhm.
and they even still need to do work to get to that point because Jay walked off. So how do we even get there if we get there? Um, it's really fascinating. But do you think, Mari, that, I mean, this, like, Sammy and KO firmly have to be back together at this point. It's strange because like they didn't reconcile and they still need
Mhm.
to come back together relationship wise, but Sammy did what he could to sacrifice himself for KO, and I'm excited for like the full on reconciliation, the hug.
Yeah, yeah. It was powerful, man. I've never seen
Yeah.
so many like this is cinema tweets in my life. But it was hard. It was hard to watch. It was so great. It's the 200th layer of an onion that's been building for over 3 years now. This storyline is amazing. It's great. I can't wait to in a few years when we hear how all of this worked out. You know what I'm saying? Like
Ugh.
it truly is fascinating viewing. And it's gonna make for a great journey to WrestleMania. And now
Agreed.
with the inclusion of what's gonna happen with Cody Rhodes winning the Rumble,
Mhm.
man, I'm
Man
excited.
is right.
Yeah.
That's it. A grade. A grade for this. Well, a grade for the match and segment.
Okay, the match and the segment you said?
Yeah, I think that's fair to do
Yeah,
together.
I think the match is probably a B, but the segment is like A plus. Like
Yeah,
so
I would just give it an A plus overall.
yeah, A plus
Mostly
overall is
with
fine.
to your
Yeah.
point, like it's a heavily weighted A plus that pulls it all
Yeah.
up. And
Mhm.
that's what it was all about. And what an emotional, meaningful, tense moment to end the Rumble. Like
Mhm.
just you're wondering where's it going? What's gonna happen? And it happens. And it's awesome because they've been teasing the breakup for a while. And
Yeah.
I know we've talked about like, does Sammy turn on them? Do they turn on Sammy? For a while, it seemed like they were gonna turn on Sammy for a long
Mhm.
while. Even before he was really an honorary Uso. So
Right.
I like that he was the one who got one over on them.
Yeah, 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 but did he? I mean, 'cause
Well,
I
yeah, I
mean,
mean, he did.
one
I
chair
mean,
shot and then he was
fair
laying
enough.
the fuck out. But yeah, no, I get it. Like I thought it was kind of like the perfect in between because yeah, Edmo pointing out the abuse that KO received. Like I think it was like a pretty even playing field, right? Because like you said, we were like, oh, will the bloodline turn on Sammy? Will Sammy turn on the bloodline? It was like kind of like even because Sammy kind of turns on the bloodline, but not
Ye
in a way where he's beating them all up. It's just like a I'm not doing this sort of way, chair to Roman's back. And then the bloodline now feel justified in beating him up. So it's kind of like
yeah.
it's still a good layer, a good way to do it. I like this a lot.
And I like the layers too, where it's like Jimmy and Solo. You almost felt like they felt the need to do the beatdown on Sammy, not because they
Mhm,
were angry, because it
mhm.
wasn't out of anger immediately. Like they didn't just jump Sammy and attack. It felt like they really had to prove something to Roman. And I don't know. I want to say though, maybe going back, I wonder if Roman I wanna say Roman turned around and looked at Sammy before they started attacking him. I don't know if that's
I can't
true,
remember. Yeah.
but I feel like that even says so much where it's like, Jay's like, "I don't need to prove myself.
Mhm,
I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do," versus Solo, who's brand new, and
mhm.
he's gonna show up for Roman day in and day out because he needs to prove his spot, and Jimmy is loyal. But I love having the Usos on opposite ends of each other, like, that's I like when we get there. Once in a while, once every few
Right.
years, they'll do it. I love that.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
We have overstayed our welcome.
As we do.
As
As we
we do.
do.
Matt, what do you got going on?
Well, I have Pod Friends going on, and another episode coming out today,
Ooh.
tonight slash into Monday with the one and only Evie Jagoda from Survivor 41. And we
Amazing.
talk about science. Evie is a queer scientist. We talk about queer stuff. We talk about Survivor a little bit. We talk about a lot about science. Like if you like to see me confused, like because Evie took a good while explaining certain scientific concepts and like about DNA and genes and the relation, and then like there's a thing called a receptor. And Mari, you will love
Mhm.
this as
Yes,
a
I was just about to
nerd
say,
of
this sounds like
science
it's
and
right
things.
up my alley.
Yeah, so if you like to see me struggle, legitimately, that's a good podcast to listen to. But we had a lot of fun. I love Evie, and you could check out Pod Friends in the Pod Friends specific feed, and you can find that at robhis website.com/podfriendsfeed. As always, subscribe to show some love,
Mhm.
and catch up on the episodes. I'm sure, Mari, your episode's still there in the feed from a year ago.
Is.
Yeah, so check that out. But that's where you can find me, and also at Matt Scott GW on the social media for whatever else is going on. There's always other random stuff happening. And thanks everyone for keeping up. But Mari, where could the people find you?
Of course, every Tuesday, me and Sarah Carradine bring True Crime Tuesdays to RHAP. So this Tuesday coming up, we will be talking about Web of Death with the amazing Grace Leader, who joined us to talk about it. It's a 6-part, just like a mini series on Hulu. Each episode is a different case, based around how web sleuths and people on the internet help solve criminal cases. So it was a really great series. It drops this Tuesday, so you can check that out by going to robhasawebsite.com/crime feed. Please go subscribe. Please go subscribe. It really helps. Of course, me and Matt are here every week with the Wrestling RHAPup. Make sure you subscribe to the Wrestling RHAPup feed by going to robhasawebsite.com/wrestling feed. Rating, reviewing, subscribing is the best way to help us show that you're listening. Let us know that you're out there. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mari Talks Too Much on Twitter. That's 2 like the number 2, to see what else I'll be up to. I'm pretty sure this week I'll be on the Married at First Sight podcast with our amazing friends Asia and Jason.
Yes,
I always have to dip in over there. I love catching up with them, so you can check that out. Yeah, by going to robhasawebsite.com/love at first sight feed. But yeah, other than that, you can always email us your questions. Send it to wrestling@robhasawebsite.com. Tweet at us at Wrestling RHAPup. That's at Wrestling RHAPUP. And for me and Matt Scott, thank you for joining us. And remember, wrestling is for everybody, but not all wrestling is for everyone. Bye.
Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPup's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock, cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party. Will Ric Flair, showing out like Bianca Belair, Best podcast, flush it in the air, From the rings and we win it, don't care, No cap. Throw 'em up, lay it down just like Matt and Mari. Wrestling RHAPup's gonna make it sorry. Feeling like The Rock, cause I'm driving in Ferraris. And we coming every week and it's feeling like a party.